Welcome into Good Morning KU. I'm your host, Nick Cousin.
And I'm Lauren Davidson.
So Lauren, this is our last week before spring break, and people are going to be traveling a lot of different places, going exotic places, going back home. I heard you're going somewhere pretty cool. Where are you going?
I'm actually going home and to an exotic place.
That's cool. That's cool.
I'll be going to Colorado for a few days and then to Honduras for a week. So Honduras, I've been going there since I was in 6th grade. It's basically my second home.
So what are you doing in Honduras that you go there every year since 6th grade?
The beach, they have one of the top 10 beaches in the world, so I love going there for that. Scuba diving is awesome, snorkeling, all of that good stuff. And then also there are monkeys there that I get to play with every time that I go back, as well as there's an orphanage that I visit every year.
Interesting. So you're about that tan life. So yeah, I'm not doing anything interesting. I'm just going home, and then I'm gonna go up to Milwaukee to visit my friend at Marquette because they are on spring break this week. So that's what I'm doing. But over winter break, I did all my traveling, and I went to New Zealand. I brought some pictures with me today because I'm that cool. But I mean, I went to New Zealand, Australia, as you see the Sydney Opera House, and I went to Hong Kong and Thailand, as it was my graduation gift from my mother.
Late graduation
Yes,
gift.
because of their winter. Our winter here is their summer. So if I went there in the summer, it would be cold. So I wouldn't want to go there.
So you made the right choice.
I did.
Right timing for that.
So
What was your favorite part about being Australia, besides the warm weather?
Australia, unfortunately, I did not get to see any kangaroos, which I wanted to see, but I think it was pretty cool, like seeing the Sydney Opera House and being on the water. It was cool. I mean, it's just literally the whole city is on the water, so you just look out and you see the ocean. So it's always cool, and it was hot. It's nice. It was like Honduras hot every day. It was like 90 degrees every day. So it was pretty nice, and it was enjoyable. It's nice to see different cultures, than ours, and it was different. It was a whole day ahead there, so I was pretty jet-lagged when I got back. But
what was one of the biggest culture changes that you went through when you were in Asia?
In Asia, it was definitely different because there were so many more people than in America. It was so hard to walk around. I mean, we went up with my mom's friends in Bangkok, Thailand, and we couldn't even drive around because they have the tightest lanes on their streets. Take our wide lanes and triple it. They have 6, but they're all this narrow.
Wow.
So you can't. And people and their motorcycles are going in and out. It was hectic. It was crazy. And in Hong Kong, you can't cross streets.
Why?
You have to I don't know. You can't cross certain streets. So you have to go up through buildings and stores and these crosswalks above buildings. And so it's kind of confusing. You can get easily lost there.
That's very interesting. I mean, in Honduras, they don't have any rules like that. I mean, they don't even have any driving laws. So they're definitely not going to have any laws about crossing the street.
They're a little crazy there.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, and speaking of crazy places to go and fun places to go, our guest today, he is from Belize, and after the break, Lauren will have the interview for you, so we'll be right back.
What do you mean? What do you mean my mocha's not here? I'm Ben Allen, seriously. What about here? Is that better? Oh, now my arm's disappearing. Obviously, this is even worse. Make sure you tweet at us at 3InKey on Twitter. I don't know where else you would tweet at us, but you should do that because I'm lonely and I need friends. Please follow me, Ben Allen Sports. It'll make your day better. Probably not. It'll make mine better though. Literally, I'm back again on Good Morning KU for 3 weeks. I'm going to be coming in, analyzing those teams, telling you what you need to know and why you need to know it. Because I know things. We're going on a trip and our favorite rocket ship. Follow me on that Twitter thing, Ben Allen Sports. So March Madness is coming up. Why am I wearing a Ravens shirt? Because I am a loser. Signing off, konnichiwa. I'm back.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back. I'm Lauren Davidson here with our guest Evan Bloom. Welcome, Evan.
Thank you for having me.
So as spring break is coming up, a lot of people are traveling for fun, family vacations, some traveling for work, study abroad. You know, Evan, I've heard that you're notorious for traveling to many different places.
Yeah, me and my family like to travel a lot for vacations, mostly winter break, summer vacation, stuff like that.
How young were you when you started traveling?
I was 13 and I went to Israel, and so that was one of the most amazing experiences of my life.
How old are you now?
I'm 20 years old.
20 years old. And how many places have you been between 13 and 20?
Probably 10 to 12 countries, somewhere around there.
Wow. Can you name a few of the countries that you've been to?
Probably most notably like France, Brazil, Canada, Mexico, Israel, stuff like that. And so definitely kind of all different mixes of places.
Who do you usually travel with?
Mostly my family, sometimes friends to smaller places in the U.S., but a lot of international trips with my family.
Where has been your favorite place that you've been?
I would say last winter break we went to Belize for a week and got to stay in a very nice island condo, and so that was a lot of fun.
Why would you say that Belize has been your favorite to travel to?
Well, it was just a lot of fun because every day was something different, and like we did a lot of cool things, like went to Mayan ruins and went whitewater rafting in underground caves, and as well as like ziplining through the jungle. So that was a lot of fun.
Speaking of Belize, I've been there as well. Belize is an amazing country, beautiful. For me, what I loved about it was that even though it's not a first world country, I felt at home. I felt like the people were very welcoming, and there is a lot of violence there.
Yeah, for sure.
But I still felt at home.
Yeah, no, I get that. I mean, obviously, like you said, it's not a first world country. There's obviously a lot of poverty and stuff like that. But it's not really about like what kind of money they have. They obviously have a different attitude, I feel like, in the U.S. And so that's definitely, you can see that, and makes the country a whole lot better, in my opinion.
Did you try the food while you were there?
I tried some of it. I'm kind of a picky eater about random food and stuff like that in foreign countries, but for the most part, I thought it was pretty good.
What was your favorite thing that you ate there?
I was a big fan of all the seafood.
Of all the seafood?
Because obviously it's right on the coast, and so they have fresh seafood and that kind of stuff, and so I really liked having like lobster and stuff like that at dinner for the night.
I know that when I was there, they had a bunch of the fresh markets for the fruit and vegetables.
Yeah.
Did you by chance get to go there?
Yeah, for sure. And so like every morning, my parents would wake up a couple hours before me and my brothers, and so they would go down to the market and buy fruits and vegetables and like drinks for the day, and so they would have fresh fruit and fresh vegetables available for us to eat or make into something else, and so that was always something that's nice, and so it made it kind of a little more homey than just like getting a cheeseburger down the street or something like that.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the perks of being in Belize. Have you encountered any interesting people, any people that stick in your mind?
Well, I was in Colorado probably when I was 15 or 16, and I met the old president, Gerald Ford, and so I got to shake his hand and said, "How's it going, President Ford?" He was kind of just walking in the line, so I got to shake his hand, and that's probably the most interesting person I've ever met.
Okay. Did he have a welcoming attitude towards you?
Yeah, it seemed like it. I mean, he's probably met a million people being the old president, but he seemed very nice and happy to meet everyone at the event.
So with all your travels, I mean, you've told me that you don't speak Spanish, and with traveling to Spanish-speaking countries, what challenges have you crossed?
Well, it's definitely a challenge for me because obviously I don't speak Spanish, and so that's hard to kind of communicate with foreign countries and that kind of thing. But my mom is from San Diego, and so she, obviously being right next to Mexico, speaks a little bit of Spanish and enough to converse and get around, and so she's kind of our main tour guide and translator for that kind of stuff.
Do you guys ever get lost?
Oh, yeah, always.
Quite a bit?
Yeah, a decent amount. I mean, there's only so much planning you can do and that kind of thing, so it's pretty well scheduled out, but we get lost definitely.
Makes sense. Everyone does. Everyone does.
Sure.
Is there one funny story that you can share?
One funny story. Well, when I was 13 in Israel, we went on top of this national monument. It's called Masada. It's on top of a mountain, and it'd be like going to Yosemite in the U.S. and taking something or something like that. And so when I was on top of the mountain, I was, for some reason, throwing all these rocks off of it. And so it's obviously a big mountain, so it's a 1,000-foot drop or however tall it is. And
Wow.
kept throwing them off, and I had all the park rangers come up to me and like accuse me of all these different things and almost got me kicked out and blah, blah, blah. And so it was quite the experience, and definitely, yeah, something I'll never forget.
That's something to remember, no doubt. Something that you can tell your children.
Yeah, for sure.
Do as I say, not as I do.
There you go.
As far as next vacation, are you already planning your next vacation? Or?
Well, actually, last night I booked my flight to study abroad in Italy this summer with the Chimba program. So that's definitely something I'm looking forward to this summer.
How long will you be in Italy?
Roughly a month, maybe a little bit longer than that. And so studying abroad, taking, I think, 2 classes, and then obviously traveling throughout Europe.
What's the thing that you're most looking forward to being in Europe?
The food. Food sounds really good. I mean, I've been to France, but Italian food can't be beat, I guess.
Perfect. I feel you. That's my favorite. That was it with Evan Bloom, and we'll be back with the news.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Hi, I'm Garrett Malpe, and this is your Tuesday Good Morning KU News Update. Apple's most expensive product debuted yesterday in San Francisco. USA Today says that the Apple Watch has editions that start at $350 all the way up to $10,000. The watch will be Apple's first new product since the iPad came out in 2010. The University of Oklahoma Sigma Alpha Epsilon fraternity is closing because of a racist video that got leaked. According to the Kansas City Star, the video shows students chanting a racial slur saying that blacks would never be admitted into the fraternity. The fraternity house was closed immediately, and all members had 1 day to remove all their belongings from the house. Head coach Bill Self was named Associated Press Big 12 Coach of the Year yesterday and is the first coach to win the award 4 times. The Lawrence Journal-World reports that Perry Ellis was selected for the first team All-Big 12 and Frank Mason made the second team All-Big 12. The Jayhawks begin conference tournament play on Thursday against the winner of tomorrow's K-State-TCU game. The news was not so good for women's coach Bonnie Henriksen. Henriksen was fired yesterday after 11 seasons. The Jayhawks finished 15-17 this year and 5-13 in the Big 12. Athletic director Cheyenne Zinger said things are wide open for hiring a new coach. And after the break, Dallas will be here with more sports. Please stay tuned.
The men's baseball team went 1-2 against Utah at Hoagland Park. Ben Krauth got the only win for the Jayhawks and is now 2-2 on the year. Colby Wright is leading the team with a .404 batting average through 16 games. Blair Beck is a leading starting fielder with a .985 fielding percentage. Their next game is today against Central Michigan, with first pitch being at 3 p.m. The women's softball team is now 21-2 on the season, with their last loss occurring this previous Saturday against Chattanooga. Team went 4-1 in the Stetson tournament. Their next game is this Friday in Lawrence against Northern Colorado. Here are the scores for Monday in the NBA. The winners of last night's matchups were the Wizards, the Hawks, the Grizzlies, Celtics, the Pelicans, the Nuggets, the Warriors, and the Clippers. The leaders of the East are the Hawks, who is the first team to reach 50 wins on the season, and the Warriors still retain the West. It was a huge week in the NFL. I'm going to try not to cry on this one. Kansas City news. Jeremy Maclin is joining with Andy Reid and becoming the next receiver for the Chiefs. Team did lose center Rodney Hudson, but picked up a well-needed receiver as they lost Dwayne Bowe. Other key signings and trades would include Julius Thomas, LeSean McCoy, Kiko Alonso, Brandon Marshall, and Ndamukong Suh. Players that have entered the free agency wire include Andre Johnson, Vince Wilfork, Jake Long, and Darrelle Revis. But players who have retired out of the NFL include San Francisco's Patrick Willis and Justin Smith. The big debate this week, though, among the NFL was San Francisco's previous running back, Frank Gore, supposedly signed with Philadelphia Eagles but had cold feet and is now interested in signing with the Indianapolis Colts. Now for the Dallas Cowboys, left tackle Tyron Smith restructured his contract to free up $8 million worth of cap space, which opened up the terms for DeMarco Murray, but now it's not looking too great. Murray was the leading NFL rusher in the NFL last season with 1,845 yards. And that's all I have, and now we will be back with the weather.
Good morning, KU. I'm talking to Jack, who's on top of the unit on the phone. Jack, man, I mean, you got shorts on in the studio here. I mean, how cold is it? I mean, it's not that cold outside, is it?
Nick, I'm live here right outside of Sabatini Multicultural, and it is beautiful here in Lawrence, Kansas today. We got 43 degrees right now, a little bit foggy, but it might warm up 72 later on today. Might be a scorcher later on today, Nick.
How's the rest of the week looking? Is it going to be this warm?
Rest of the week, we got a high of 70. That'll be on Saturday. We got a low of 36 on Wednesday, but we should be keeping around par, about 55 to 60 throughout the week. Should be great. The Jayhawks play on Thursday, and it should be around 70 degrees, partly cloudy, so Jayhawk Nation should be safe to travel this week.
Yeah, sounds like it. You jumped ahead of me there, man. I was going to ask you about the game on Thursday, how it was looking, but you already told me.
Hey.
When we're gone on break, how's it going to be here? Are we going to miss warm weather, or it's going to be cold here?
What was that? Come again, Nick?
Next week when we're on break, are we missing cold weather here, or is it still going to be warm? For those that are
Oh, it'll be warm. We're looking high 60s, low 70s throughout that time period. Should be great. I also had to throw on the Chiefs bucket hat today. As you can see, Dallas touched on it a little bit. Big signing of Jeremy Maclin, so had to represent the team, and awesome weather to do it in.
Yeah, you're happy about that, Jack. Well, that will do it for Good Morning KU. We'll be back next Tuesday. As always, see you then.